Jeff Dooley is the Director of Broadcasting and Media Relations for the New Britain Rockcats. He is the longest-standing member of the organization, entering his 16th season with the team. Dooley has watched players like Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau work their way to the big leagues through New Britain, Connecticut. He understands how difficult the path to pros is with experience in multiple sports.
It's hard, and I've covered other sports as well. I do college basketball at the University of Hartford. I've done some football fill-in for the University of Connecticut, and there's nothing as easy. I just think some of these athletes, because they're so talented, they can make it easy. But the road is difficult. I mean, obviously, if you're a kid that throws hard in high school, you may get drafted and you go to rookie ball. And for a lot of these kids, they've always been the best everywhere they've been. A little league, and then when they get into Babe Ruth, and then into high school, and then sometimes into college, and now they get thrown up with kids from all over the world. And you're going up against a Dominican 16-year-old kid that was all world, or a kid that you're trying to beat out at shortstop that just came back from the WBC for Team Australia. So you do realize that, maybe I'm not as good as I was on that field back in Iowa. So it is difficult. That being said, I think if you're good, and it depends on where you peak. They always say don't peak too early. You want to make sure that you peak at the right time and you continue to progress. Obviously, it happens at different levels. Some guys tap out at Double-A, other guys tap out at rookie ball, and some obviously extend all the way up to the major leagues. They always say it's tough to get to the major leagues, but it's even more difficult to stay. And you make it a little bit of a look-see, but to go there and show you belong is something. And the road to the major leagues is very difficult. You're talking about going to a rookie league team and then spreading out to 3A ball teams. You come up here to Double-A, and then you go out to AAA for the most part, which is our AAA affiliates in Rochester, and then you go up to these guys, go up to the Minnesota Twins, the Rockcats, and it's obviously difficult because you weed so many guys out of the mix. The guys that get to here, we had 5 guys from last year's club go to the big leagues. For a Double-A team, that's a lot, but it's a very difficult road. But I think these players realize that there's just so much money, the wealth at the end of the tunnel. It's just so important that they're focused because they know that there's a short period in their life where they have the chance to maybe make a lot of money. Now, when Joe Mauer was here, he was real young. He was 20, 21 years old. He wasn't pulling the ball like he is now. He obviously had a great discipline of the strike zone, but he was going to left field with everything. He was just, he was using all fields. He hit over 300. He only played about 65 games. He came up a mid-summer call-up just around the All-Star game. But the thing that impressed me about Joe is that he would shut down a running game. He would absolutely stop the opponent from running, which was tremendous to see. He still made the best play I've ever seen live, where he went back on a ball. We're in Binghamton, New York, and he went back on a ball to the backstop, made the catch. There was a guy at first base. He thought he would just crawl to second base. Joe caught the ball, had the notion to turn and throw to second, and it wasn't even a close play at second base. We're talking about 25 feet behind home plate at the backstop where he made this catch. And I still tell people about it, obviously, because it's the best that I've seen live at a game, and I've seen a lot of baseball through the years. And with Mauer, he's matured. He's a terrific kid. There's not an easier guy to root for. I still get a chance to see him when I go down to spring training. And Jeff, how you doing? He signed a $180 million contract. He hasn't changed a whisker. He's still that great person. With Justin Morneau, he came through. He was a late addition to the Rockcats in 2001, and we were in the playoff hunt, and he struggled in the regular season. He was having that difficult adjustment, and then hit a big home run for us in Game 2 of the divisional playoffs against the Norwich Navigators at the time, the Yankees affiliate, and then actually came back in 2002 and was really good, one of the better players in the league that year, and then came back to start 2003. In fact, Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau never overlapped. Morneau was here to start. He got called up, and then Mauer came through. So, there are guys that, and I get asked all the time, who's the best player that you've seen? Ryan Howard was pretty dominant when he was here. Josh Beckett made his Double-A debut against the Rockcats as a Marlin affiliate when he was in Portland, and rolled through the Rockcats lineup. I think he struck out 12 in that game. Not many touched the ball. And there are guys that were just average. Kyle Loesch I love to talk about, because Kyle Loesch lost 18 games for the Rockcats in 2000. 18 losses. And I just remember being with Kyle in July, and I didn't even realize it was going on that long. And he looked at me and said, "Jeff, do you realize it's been since mid-April since I've won a game? And I knew it had been a while, and he was just down in the dumps. And you try and lift a guy like that because he's a terrific kid. And boy, has he fooled him, because he went up there, played a little bit with the Twins, and obviously with the Cardinals, and just got a huge contract now with Milwaukee. So again, you just can never tell. That's why I encourage fans to come down there and let them be the judge in who's going to make it and who's not.